So President Trump there says the U.S. has agreed to Iran's request to continue technical talks, and this despite the fact that millions of Iranians are calling for his death. For more, let's bring in U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. Ambassador, great to have you on the program again.
Thank you, Aisha. Great to be with you today.
Let me ask the obvious question first that a lot of folks have on their minds, whether they are for this Iran conflict or not. Is there a way to come to a deal with a country and its leaders if they want to kill our president?
It's kind of hard, isn't it? They've been very explicit in saying it. This week, Israeli intelligence tipped off our side, the president, and our officials, that there was a very specific plot that was designed to take out President Trump. This is pretty serious. You know, you can't just make these kind of claims. I think it's important for Americans to understand that what the Iranians are saying and doing is nothing that they haven't been doing for 47 years. This is a long-standing death to America chant that they've had. They really haven't changed. I hope they will. I'd love to believe they could. If anyone, and I mean if anyone, could get them to a place of making a change about their evil behavior, it's President Trump. If he can't do it, it can't be done.
On that specific plot you're talking about, there's reporting that perhaps that was the reason why he switched planes when he left the NATO summit. Have you been read in on anything about that plot?
I can only speak to what's in the public reports, and that is that there was a plot and that Israeli intelligence picked it up and shared it with the U.S. But that's public knowledge. That's all I can really add to that.
Okay. Sir, today CBS is reporting that the Iranians privately told the administration that those attacks on the ships in the Strait of Hormuz, that was a big mistake, and that there might be some sort of a tug of war when it comes to power within the current regime between the hardliners and the people that actually want to do business with President Trump. Do you buy that, or do you think that that's just the Iranians sweet-talking?
You know, I'd like to believe that there is some level of moderation among some of them, but we don't see any what I would call significant evidence that there is a real peaceful part of the Iranian regime. Let's hope there is. I can say that from this perspective in Israel, since the ceasefire, it's been really quiet here, and we're grateful for that. There haven't been any missiles launched toward Israel, and I know there have been some to other parts of the region, particularly to some of our bases closer to Iran, but Israel's been fortunate not to have any Iranian missiles shot at them. Still getting fire from Hezbollah in Lebanon, and that's a problem that I think we're all hopeful that the peace agreement recently signed is going to be the first of many steps to get that resolved.
Well, about that, Israel, the IDF says that they will leave some of these pilot zones within Lebanon as long as the Lebanese military comes in and is able to secure this area. Do you think Beirut is able to deliver that security? I mean, it hasn't been able to so far. Do you think that they can do what they've promised?
Aisha, I think it's going to be incremental. It's not going to be the flip of a switch. It's going to be a process, not an event. We all understood that. I was a part of the talks in Washington when the U.S. sat down with both Israel and Lebanon. It was historic just to be there and to realize that Lebanon and Israel finally acknowledged they're not at war with each other. Their common enemy is Hezbollah. Let's not forget that Hezbollah is financed and equipped largely by Iran. If you can ever cut off the mothership to the supply, step on the oxygen hose, you have a real shot at making it more difficult for Hezbollah, for Hamas, for the Houthis. I want to remind Americans when they think this doesn't affect us, it's not about America. Yes, it is. Hezbollah is in 12 countries in the Western Hemisphere. Hezbollah has killed more Americans than any of the proxies of Iran. It is a serious issue for the United States.
Something the president has brought up a number of times now. I think the first time he brought it up was when he was in France for the G7, and once again at NATO when he was sitting next to the Syrian president, is this idea that Syria could potentially help deal with Hezbollah. I'm going to play this soundbite for you here. This is him suggesting that again.
Do you still want Syria to help with Hezbollah in Lebanon?
They could help. We'll find out. I think we're making a lot of progress.
Mr. President,
They could help.
Mr. President,
They would do a very good job.
So that has not been received well by folks in the region, including Lebanon. What are you telling people who are concerned that Syria might come back to Lebanese territory?
Well, I think it was simply something the president gave at least some hint that could be an option, but he certainly hasn't put anything into motion as of this time. I don't think the reaction was overwhelmingly excitement from either the Lebanese or the Israelis about it. So I think that there's a better option, and that option is that as the Lebanese armed forces, the LAF, is able to take more and more control of their own country, I can assure you there's nothing the Israelis would like better than to completely be out of Lebanon, but only when the people in Israel, especially in the north, the areas around Kiryat Shimona and Metula, when those areas are safe enough for people to live there. When that happens, it's going to be a very, very different Middle East.
Would you advise the president to walk away from this idea of Syria getting involved?
It's never the job of the ambassador to tell the president what he ought to do. We get to carry policy. He gets to make it. I'm reminding myself every day, he got elected in November of 2024, and that's why he gets to call the shots. And I'll tell you something, I'm proud the shots he's called have really been instinctively outstanding. So it's much easier to serve a president who makes decisions that when you see how they turn out pretty darn well.
Spoken like a diplomat. Ambassador Huckabee, great to have you on. As always, be safe out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aisha. Appreciate you.
Have a great weekend.